Hello, and welcome to Wine with Wita, the podcast that is dedicated to engaging with health professionals and caregivers in meaningful discussions. I'm your host, Rita Shamoon, or as my clients call me, Wita. I'm a pediatric speech pathologist, and I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we deep dive into connecting you with caregivers and healthcare professionals, sharing their insights, stories, and key takeaways to help you with your child's diagnosis and your journey. Whether you are a parent, healthcare professional, a lifetime learner, or simply a wine enthusiast, you're in the right place. So let's sit back and relax and enjoy today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a fun, wonderful episode of Wine with Wita. Now, as you can hear through the tone of my voice, I'm really ecstatic about my next guest. My next guest, her name is Jocelyn. Now, I've been practicing her surname. I'm going to have a go. Manzanarez. Is that right?
Oh, so close. Manzanarez.
Oh, Manzanares. You have to
Oh,
shift the shoulder too. Manzanares. Now, Jocelyn is from Washington, based in Seattle, USA, and she is a childhood musical educator for over or close to, I believe, 25 years. Now, the reason why I'm so excited to have Jocelyn on Wine with Wita this week, as you all know through my page and through my caseload, I love music. And I'm a strong, firm believer that when you have joy in any element of play or in any interaction, you create connection. And when you create connection, you create learning. And with that learning, it could be any part of development, whether it's communication, whether it's fine motor development, whether it's emotional regulation, it could be any element. But I really believe when you tap into your own child and let your child see you in your happy place, your vulnerability, it opens up the world to endless possibilities. So I am so excited to have Jocelyn on Wine with Wita. For us, it's good morning. Hello, Jocelyn. Good afternoon on your end.
thank you. Great to be here, Rita. I mean, Wita.
Wita. Now it's the daytime and I don't drink in the day, but I've got
Yeah.
my little Reeds cup, little
Yeah.
teacup.
Yeah. I'm
You,
just
s-
doing
you,
water and I'm waiting till
yeah,
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
sure.
Yeah.
Water with
Gotta
Wita.
have our gotta have our rules.
That's good. That's good. Otherwise, you could be dancing by the end of this podcast, I think.
That'd be so awkward. Oh, and you know
Very,
what?
very.
Halloween's actually tomorrow.
So Halloween's today for us. So you know what we should do? Have like a little singing
Oh my
segment about Halloween for kids.
gosh. Oh, I got lots of Halloween songs. I did all day today.
I'm
We're
looking
getting ahead
forward
of
to it.
ourselves.
Yeah, we are. So Jocelyn, you can definitely feel the vibe in this conversation. We're going to have lots of fun. We speak the same language of communication, music, joy, etc., etc. Tell the listeners about your wonderful self and the founder of your two businesses, actually, which is Musically Minded and The Circle. So please tell us about that.
Yes. So I got my degree in music education, but honestly, music has been a part of my life forever. So from the time I was small, I was singing and playing the piano and just always enjoying that piece that music brought into my life. So it was only natural that I was in choirs and I was in band and piano lessons and voice lessons. And so when I got into high school and I thought, well, what am I going to do for my job? I loved kids and I loved music. And I wanted to have a job coming out of college. So I thought, well, I think I'll be a music educator. So it only made sense. And so I went to 4 years of our state school, University of Montana, and graduated from there and got a job in a kindergarten through sixth grade classroom. So it was general music. You know, the kids would come to me for 30 minutes a day. Once a week, every class would get 30 minutes. And I quickly realized I was not cut out for sixth graders, fifth graders, maybe fourth graders, but no, I was
No.
not a good fit for the older kids. So that job actually worked out because they cut the newest music teacher the following year, which was me. And that was okay because then my next job was K3 music. And that was definitely a better fit for me. But still something was missing. And I then went on after teaching 3 years in the public schools, I discovered early childhood.
Mm.
That's for us, birth through 8 is technically early childhood, and honestly, what I do, what I teach can go up to age 8, but birth through 5 is kind of the sweet spot for me. And so after I'd finished teaching now for 4 years, I went and I got my master's and I started to see the research. And that's what I needed. I needed the research to be able to sell music. And so that's what I do now. 21 years in the business, and I am a seller of music. I am trying to find every place possible, every person I can talk to, every child I can touch, every teacher I can convince to bring music into their lives. And so, just talking with you as a speech pathologist, I am excited because for me, my whole mission is helping everyone bring music into their life somehow. So whether it's a new mom or dad rocking their baby and finding that confidence to sing to them, or it's a kindergarten teacher who wants to teach rhyming in a way that's fun and joyful so children want to come back the next day. I want to really take away this idea that you have to be a musician. Because if we
Mm.
wait for you to go to school, go to the voice lessons, do all the things, and then come back and utilize this strategy, it's just going to be too late. So I want to get out there, teach as many people as I can that they don't have to be so overwhelmed by music. And let's get on to let me showing you activities that you can use tomorrow that will teach the whole child in a
Oh,
joyful way, of course.
I love this. I love this. And I really appreciate the fact that you emphasize the importance of early intervention. Now, I even want to go deeper. I
Yes.
feel if we could connect to music when a mother's pregnant,
Oh, for sure.
that's where the joy and the connection occurs, and I know with myself that even when I go on my morning walk, I have to have a happy song on or something that's
Mhm.
really meaningful to me to definitely lift my spirits, and I then transfer that energy to the morning routine with my kids so we can have, in inverted commas, eventful, peaceful morning routine to set up the day. Now, as a speech pathologist, I incorporate music in lots of more everyday routines, such as changing a nappy, bath time, meal time. And I feel the more that we repeat the language, the more the consistency, the child is learning different sounds, understands the predictability of the routine, and the task is
Mhm.
a lot more easier for the child. Now, let's talk about the benefits of music for children on your end, and then I'll put my little spiel as well.
Well, I mean, right off the bat, it's a human ability. So it's birthright. So for children to be exposed to quality musical interactions, no matter where they're at. So if you have a child, an autistic child, absolutely. Let them use music. If you have a child with Down syndrome, if typically developing children, it's really a way to level the playing field. So beginning at birth, teaching them rhymes, bringing in that joy of interacting, watching, their caretaker's mouth as they make the words, as they also bring that love through the music only helps that child and of course that caregiver create that bond. But as the child gets older, the way that we are really filling them up with words is it naturally happens, but it also calms a child. It gets a child excited. It changes their state. So just like you, Rita, with doing music, listening to songs that are happy when you're going on your walks, it works everywhere. So
Mm.
wherever you're listening to this podcast, you can use your music and whatever emotions you want to evoke or memories that you want to bring back. Our brain has that ability to really capture and want to be a part of that musical interaction. So it's just such a gateway to
Mm.
all children to be able to come together to create community, to teach, language, and just to really have the joy of being alive and being human.
Yeah, yeah. One, because I work with so many parents, and I'm sure you do as well. One
Mhm.
of the biggest hesitations when we encourage parents to attempt to sing or just to add some words to their language or interaction, there's that hesitation. well, I'm not Miss Rachel. I can't sing. I'm not
Yep.
Beyonce. My voice, have you heard my voice? My voice is shocking. But it's much more than how you sound. It's the joy that you bring with your child in the interaction. They don't care about how you sound, but more the feelings they have. What's your input into that, and how we can help parents
One thing
resolve
that
their concerns?
yeah,
Mm.
one thing I really want to encourage people is, what if this was a non-judgmental topic? So, I don't know where I've talked about this kind of idea before, but like, how often do you judge how well you brush your teeth? Or, I'm not kind of even looking at how well I drove from Seattle back home today. I'm like, oh, I did that turn so well. I applied that blinker just at the right time, 2/3 down the block. No, but it served a purpose of getting me from work to home. And so,
Mm.
because I needed that, I don't need to judge it. It's not a judging thing. So I would love for us to get past this idea that we have to judge ourselves based on how we compare to Beyonce or how we compare to these other singers, because we're not even doing that. Like, that's not even the point of
Mm.
it. We're trying to get you from point A to point B, and I don't care what kind of vehicle you're in or how fast or slow you drive. Just get there safely, because over here are the gifts. Same,
Mm.
your family, or dinner or whatever. Same idea with singing. So if we can get over this idea that the society has put in place in our mind that we have to judge our voice, we can get to the point where we realize, once you've had some wins, once you've had those moments with your child where you start smiling, you start relaxing in the car on the way home, because now you guys are singing a song that you're having so much joy coming up with, down by the bay where the wild rams grow. And, you're coming up with funny rhymes, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm helping my 4-year-old rhyme. Or, oh my goodness, I'm helping my 3-year-old know what word comes next. I'm building her confidence. That's when you start to go, I'm so glad I got over that hump. So
Yeah.
that's my thing. And the other piece, don't judge your voice in front of others, especially children.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I notice, you know what? I'm at fault with this because I don't feel like I have great art skills. So I don't draw very well because it's never been something that I've put much time into. I've never taken a drawing class, so it only makes sense that I'm really good at stick figures, and those are even But if I want to draw for a different reason, like, therapeutic, calming my body, just doodling to doodle, and then it's not the purpose. But if I say I am a bad drawer, let's go do some art, it's already putting in the
Mm.
head of the children that now you go judge yourself. Let's find out how good you are. So, same thing for the voice. Oh, I'm not a very good singer. Well, now instantly you put in the child's head, well, am I?
Mm.
And we don't want that, because, again, that's a roadblock. Once it's eliminated, we get to all the riches waiting on the other side.
You mentioned something recently on the Wiggles podcast where you said, understand where your values are and align them with your values. So I interpreted that with, well, my value is I want to connect with my child. I want to encourage my child's communication. I want to set up an environment that's stimulating and positive. So when we take our what we value and link it to a task, then it should be effortless for you, or the judgment should be reduced, I would assume. Do you want to tap into what you were discussing that point then?
Yeah. So I think the piece there is knowing that you value something so much, you don't care how you're going to get it.
Mm.
So letting go of that self doubt and going, I want to remember this day with my child. And it might be me getting up, stomping around, feeling really silly because we're dancing around and doing all these things. But if it means I'm going to connect with my child at a deeper level, I'm going to put my phone down so that we're totally present with each other. And that's something that's really important to me, that I want to make sure that my child isn't knowing me as someone who's always looking at their phone.
Mm.
Then you can start to use music as a way to reach those values. You value language, you value having your child be literate, having your child be able to speak with confidence, and working through any speech delays that they have. Well, you want to work through the speech delays, right? Well, yeah, of
Mm,
course I do. Okay. Well, here's your ticket.
mm,
So if you want that, you've got to let down your guard and move through that uncomfortable stage to get over here. So again, it's you need to know what you value. And then when you start to recognize, oh, I can do this with music, then it's a matter of, okay, then how? What does that look like?
yeah.
What does that look like in
Mm.
the home? What's that look like in the classroom or in the car?
I really like how you tapped into different environments where parents can just sing or be silly with words and have some tunes to it. Because to me, and when I teach clients, that's all it is. Have fun
Yeah.
with the words, add a bit of
Mhm.
a tune, add a little bit of a beat, and repeat, repeat, repeat. Now,
Yes.
in speech pathology and communication development, we have different areas. So there's pre-verbal development, which is a child's ability to turn, take,
Mhm.
have joint attention, imitate, and all of those gorgeous skills are so important for understanding and verbal communication. And for
Yes.
me, that's where music comes in at that early part of a child's development. Now,
Mhm.
if you want to tap into that with what strategies parents can use to support copying and adding words, and then I'll put in my speech pathology pit as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, for instance, today I'm in a toddler class. So we've got some nonverbal children and some much more verbal children who might be very close in age. But what's really fun is that ability to still do the same activity, but for those children with receptive language to be able to respond. So that idea that I can say touch your head and they can touch their head, being
Mm,
receptive, and expressive saying, when I ask that question, what am I touching? And there are kids in that classroom who can tell me my head. So I'm using music as a way to help them interact with me. And then it's really fun because then as they get older, I'm now able to set them up to say words in a song, so as their speech is developing, I'm able to kind of raise the bar a little bit. So going from nonverbal, but playing games, playing the back and forth game. Today, you would have loved that. What I did was I had a song, and it goes clap, clap, clap your hands together. Clap, clap, clap your hands together. La 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 la. Now, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I often, especially in the toddler room, when I start to sing la,
mm.
their mouth tries. And yes. And so it was so cute because, some of these little and I was like, "Oh, yes, yes. Like, can you try it with me? La, la, la." And so then I just turned the focus to their mouth. What can their mouth do? So I wanted to come up with some familiar ma, 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 da, 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 da. And then, then we go brrr, and moving the mouth like that. But really
Mm,
just knowing that I had nonverbal kids, I wanted them to get their mouth going with the music. It was just such a fun way to play with them. And of course, the back and forth thing, it's always happening. So I go, you go, I go, you go, or the caregiver, does that response, and then they can start to see what that looks like and join in.
mm,
Now, what I found interesting today was I was in a classroom where I was noticing nobody was singing with me. And there was
mm,
only 6 children, and there is one little girl in there who definitely is she knows all the words, but she wasn't singing with me either. And so I started leaving the last word off of the line. Now, it's very predictable. It's bats are sleeping upside down, sleeping in the morning sun, waiting till the night comes, then they fly around, then they fly around. So, super repetitive, which, as we know, that's what you want because you want them to get to that point where they master it. So I was like, you guys, you have to sing with me. So I'd go, bats are, and they'd fill in the
mm,
word sleeping, bats are sleeping. Then by the time we did it 3 times, because I always do things 3 times before that, we never want to get boring.
mm.
had them all singing. So it was almost like they needed permission, but then we're starting to really get them using those words. So I do find that that's a really great way to
Mm.
get kids to start to sing, is to leave off that last word. It gives them that permission, and before you know it, they're singing all the words with you. So many different ways that we
So
can do
many
it.
different ways. Like, I'm just
Words
having
on
all
up.
these exciting moments pop in my head. So one thing you mentioned in the classroom where you worked with a la 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 and then added other sounds. What I love when I'm completing group therapy, all the kids just start to look at each other, go, "You
Mhm,
can do it, so I'm going to
mhm,
do it too." And then
mhm.
they explore, and I love that exploration of copying, because imitation is one of the important skills for all communication development. And it's not
Yes.
about verbal imitation, it's about gesture imitation. And that is why I love singing, because we can add gross motor movements to our music. And so even if a child is struggling with copying what you say, if we encourage a child to copy what you do, it allows the
Mhm.
child to think, oh, I can do it. I'm going to copy her more. And then, you know what? I think I want to try then copy what she's saying, which is associated with that
Yes.
action. And
Yes.
I think, as you would know, as an educator and as a clinician, it is so powerful and magical when a child can go from copying a gesture to then attempting a sound. You're like,
Mhm.
yeah, we're really sparking those neurons there, and that child's making that connection. And it actually, my heart really is quite warm right now at the thought of it. It's
Yes.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's what keeps us going.
Mm,
That's what, that's why we show up every day. So I wanted to tell you, Rita, that I don't know about over in Australia, but I'm guessing it's the same. A lot of kids have screen time here.
yeah.
And one of my things in the classrooms has been, hey, let's not show them YouTube videos as our music time. And my feeling is because we need human to human interaction. And if we've got another human in the room, we can use them as our guide, but we need that human pull. So today I had a song that I'd found on YouTube called Monsters Stomp Around. It
Is
just
this
had a
associated
really
with
fun.
Halloween as well?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because today I did like a whole Halloween class. So it was Monsters Stomp Around. And so I'm using a YouTube song. And what was so interesting was on my phone was the video. So the video that you would be watching if you were to be watching YouTube. And you know what? I left it up for just a minute to observe what children did. They didn't march with the monsters. They did this.
Oh, yeah.
They just stared at it. So once I flipped it down, I got them marching with the monsters. I got them dancing and jumping with the monsters. So they went from being observers to being participators when I took that piece out. So I just
Mm,
thought that it's just important to recognize that we don't need to have that visual stimulation through a video. It's the human to human interaction, and we know that that's how language is passed down. Patricia Kuhl, I don't know if you've done much.
no, go ahead.
Dr. Patricia Kuhl, Kuhl, I believe she wrote a book called The Scientist in the Crib, and she has a speech lab here at the University of Washington, and she did a whole study on learning Mandarin with video, with audio, and with in person. And what was the most indication that a child was learning Mandarin? Now at home, they're not getting Mandarin. This is
Mm,
in an observation center, was the face-to-face interaction. That's where children began to learn the language. So what I just want to say is I know that there's some times where you've got to turn on a YouTube video. I have two daughters. I know that. You've
mm,
got to have a
mm, mm,
break. But I don't ever want to have parents lose the fact that, oh, I'll just have, like you said, Miss Rachel, do the singing or
mm.
do that. And I can go away. Yes, go away, do the dishes, whatever. But come back, figure out what Miss Rachel did, turn off the video and do that activity with your child. That is
Mm.
so
Should
important. important.
So those YouTube, again, I strongly agree with your point there. Those videos, Miss Moni, Miss Rachel, and whoever they are, they're
Mhm.
wonderful resources. However, they're not a substitute. They aren't a
Not a
substitute for
substitute.
no. They're not. They're a nice filler when you need to have your downtime or a little bit of respite because it's
Yeah,
valuable resource. However, it's not a substitute for A, communication development, B, human connection, and C, a joyful interaction with your child. Now, that
beautiful.
is a big concern with development, but we have to also recognize this is our norm, that this is the world that we're living in. What advice do you then tell parents, okay, let's see what this character's doing on this show. How about you then imitate that and apply that to your day-to-day task
Yeah,
or
yeah.
monster stomping. Now, mummy's stomping, you stomp and
Mhm.
stomp, 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 and continue that. What other advice would you give parents to link the two together?
Yeah, I think it's the same idea. Pay attention to what your child is interested in. So notice which ones they even like. I have a friend who's got 3-year-old twins, and she said that one of the boys loves, and I'm trying to remember who the guy was. Blippy, I think was the name
Yeah,
of it.
everyone loves
And
Blippi.
yeah, and so her son, when he's playing on his own, she'll hear him start to sing the songs that he learned on Blippi. So that's great. That's actually awesome because now that child has taken it into their play and they're manipulating it and playing with the words. Jump in, have some
Mm,
fun, bring it up at different times, take that idea, notice, be an investigator. What does your child like? What can you do more of? But don't stop at just silly funny songs. I mean, bring in some old songs, bring in, like I am talking to people, it's like you don't have to just do Wheels on the Bus.
yeah.
So keep it fun, keep it exciting, even, bringing it into storytelling. That's a great way, of course, to even have language, but also to just bring songs into books. So
Mm,
bringing different mediums in. Another great idea is to bring in props like a scarf, like shakers, like rhythm sticks. So it extends the play, it adds a variation to a repetition. So we need repetition, but because humans just love novelty, when we add that simple variation, it can just be so much fun. And I can't remember if on the Wiggles I taught this one, but with the scarf, taking it, and actually, you know what, let's do this. So, as in keeping with this Halloween theme,
yeah.
um, is taking my scarf over my head and going, owl in the tree goes peek-a-boo, owl in the tree goes peek-a-boo, owl in the tree goes peek-a-boo, who are you? So I know maybe the child saw an owl, and I'm not saying that you necessarily have to be like looking in the database, like, oh, he likes dinosaurs today. Like, what dinosaur song? It's just, dinosaur in the tree goes peekaboo, rar, 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 rar. Like you could change it up, or maybe you have a dog in the house, change it up. It's still that repetition. The song gave you the structure. Now make it your own. Have your child, if they're verbal, have them kind of, what should we find in the tree now? Uh,
Mm.
Blippy. I don't even know. Yeah.
I love that. No, I adore that song. Thank you so much for your beautiful voice. But yeah, when I do speak to clients and even me as a mum, I incorporate music into everything. It doesn't have to be a nursery rhyme.
Mhm.
Everyone thinks you have to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or Wheels on the Bus. That's, I feel, a foundation to let you know a tune that you can go with.
Yeah.
But you create your own music. You are the musician of your child's development. So have fun. So I even have one with my daughters when I'm in that morning rush and I'm ready to go to work and they're just cruising along, taking their
Yeah.
time. Rather than me losing my mind and screaming,
Mhm.
I just put on a song and it goes along like, it's time to go to school, 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 time to go to school. Mummy's going to lose her cool. And they're like, oh, mummy's going to lose
That's
her.
funny. Yes, yes.
And then the other one starts to go, mum's going to blow her mind, mind, mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you're just making it silly, but it's like, no, okay, with that repetition, it's like, all right, guys, we need to get
We gotta
going.
go. Yeah, we gotta go. Exactly right. Now, we've spoken a lot about the importance of music and language development for the earlier years. However, what I want parents to know is this foundation that we create for a child also helps them in their schooling and even within America, elementary elements of reading.
Mm,
Literacy, early reading skills. Now, we call it here
mhm.
phonological awareness, and that
Yes.
is the awareness of sounds and how we can manipulate sounds, put sounds together, break sounds apart, which is so important for reading. Now, would you like to put your opinion on that, please?
Yes. So I went to school for music education, and I had no clue that I held an amazing key into helping kids learn to read. And so I didn't really discover that until my daughter was 4, and today is her 19th birthday. I
Happy
can't believe it. But
birthday.
she was 4 in a classroom, and I was helping her with the letter of the week. And she was supposed to find all the things at our house that started with Q and bring it back into the classroom. And, she found a Q-tip and a cucumber.
Hmm,
And I was like, yeah. So at this point, I know nothing about reading. I know nothing about letter sounds. I know, obviously I know the alphabet, but, I didn't know how important sounds were over knowing these letter names. And so I checked into it and I quickly figured out she needs to know her sounds. We've got to get her knowing her sounds. The teacher's so focused on these letter names. What's this letter? What's this letter? What's this letter? And I realized the ear is really where it begins. And so I wrote a song. I've been learning my alphabet, and we go through apple, butterfly, cow, and I have sign language for every single one of them. But I went into her classroom and I taught all the kids the song, and it was amazing to see how quickly it clicked. So we know that music, of course, taps into all these different areas, but I thought, there's something here. So I went on to create, I called it Reading Rocks, but really
hmm.
taking a look at how reading could help with those foundational pieces found in phonological awareness. And I've created lots of different trainings and gone out to help teachers. But I think one of the most important takeaways I've realized is that teaching a child to read begins with their eyes closed. So,
Auditory.
so much
Mm.
emphasis has been placed on, you know, memorize these CVC words, memorize all of them, and they make no sense. It's like the and top and bop and all of them. They just make no sense. I shouldn't have said top and bop because those rhyme. So
They're
we're good.
rhyming, yeah.
But these words that are paired together make no sense. So instead, it's rushed. And now you've got these children who can identify these CVC words, but they don't know how they're built. And then what happens is you've got a fourth grader who thinks that, oh gosh, they're such great readers, but they're not, they're memorizers. So if
Mm.
we go back and we do need to go back to, 1 year old, 2 year olds, 3 year olds, and those experiences, we start to build in their brain the ability to identify sounds, the ability to put sounds together to make words and begin to build sentences and rhymes. And then we can start to build on that. But if we
Mm.
don't have that foundation, of learning the skills, the phonological skills that are all done with our eyes closed and identifying those, then those children have these deficits. So that's finally what's getting to be realized here in America through the science of reading. So really looking at the 70 years of research and saying children do not learn by memorizing. They learn by understanding and manipulating sounds. And that's what
Mm.
music does. It shines its light on, you know, all the things that we want children to be able to do, to be able to identify rhymes, to be able to identify when the beginning sounds of words and those alliterations, those pieces, those sentence structure. So it's like music is just made for that. So we could talk all day about finding activities for each of these different areas underneath that phonological umbrella. But
Mm.
again, I think the biggest takeaway is close your eyes. And when children can identify sounds and play with sounds without their eyes open, that's when it's time to move on to showing them words. You may
Yeah,
or
I
I'm
agree.
just curious
You
how.
agree, everything you said between alliteration, syllabification, first sound, last sound. in my mind, all I'm getting is the ability to understand nonsense words. Now,
Mhm.
nonsense words for me are important when, especially with working pre-kindergarten children, because it allows them to, as we said, close their eyes and listen to the rhyming of these words. So I love to use this activity called scary monsters. So we might
Okay.
call one blat, and that's not a real word, but
Yeah.
blat, and then we call another one clat or something. And so
Yeah.
it's about letting the child have fun with it, explore the
Mm.
sounds, but understand blat is b-l-at. Now another
Mhm.
one, clat, k-l-at. So it's about letting them hear it, feel it,
Yep.
and have the joy with it, which will help them learn how to attack spelling and reading from an auditory perspective rather
Mhm.
than learning the sight words and the memorizing the words that they see. Yes, we're on the same page. I absolutely
Yes.
love this. This is remarkable.
Yeah,
Now,
and I think the other thing is, doing it in a playful way.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
making sure that when we're doing these activities, it's not with flashcards over and over again. It's through playful ways. Like for instance, and again, everything's Halloween right now, but I have this pot, and we're stirring it up, and we're gonna pull out a letter, and can you make this sound? Because yes, identifying letters is important as well, but it's about making these experiences playful, like you did with the monsters. Tapping into that creativity is also going to keep them engaged, and we need kids to be more creative.
Yeah.
So why not make it fun and joyful?
Now, something just came to me, Jocelyn.
Okay.
Did you want to have fun and create a little rhyme or a song about
Ooh.
Halloween just off the bat with your
Okay.
pot
All off
and
the bat.
maybe
I love that.
or my cup? I have no resources in here, but we can try.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
what we can model to parents is you don't need a script. You just need things around you. You need to
Yeah.
have fun. And what I'm going to emphasize, repeat, 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 and
Yeah.
leave a word out for your child to finish off. So does it, I don't know about how much about Halloween. You might need to guide me about with this,
Okay.
and I'll just follow
Okay.
your lead. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Okay, so how about we're trying to come up with, we want to get them to tell us the costume that they're gonna make.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
costume that they're
What
gonna.
if? Or what? How about they're wearing it? Put it on. Oh no, no. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, no, we could do that
No,
too.
no.
Getting their
I don't know.
costume on, or, um, what if we bring in that creative piece where they do put on different things, like what kinda hat are you gonna put
Okay,
on?
I'll
You
start
know?
off. I'll start off. Okay.
Okay, okay,
I might start off with a song. What are
okay.
we going to wear? What are we going to wear? What are we going to?
Where
Yeah. Now you continue.
Yeah. So right there. Da-dun, da-dun, da-da, da-dun, da-dun, da-da, da-dun, 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 da-da, da-dun, da-dun, da-da. Okay, so now we definitely have our tune established.
Mhm.
We know that that tune leads itself to, you know, what, first line, second line,
Clothing. Yeah.
something different than fourth line. Okay. But we actually you did three lines the same, and then the fourth line was different. Was that right?
Yeah, yeah,
What are you
yeah, yeah.
gonna wear? Oh,
What are
what
you
are you
gonna
gonna
wear? What are you
wear?
gonna wear? What are you going to?
Okay.
And then finish the load. Yeah.
Where okay, so our third line was where we just changed it a little bit. Okay. Um, so now I might say, I'm gonna wear a pumpkin. Oh, I'm gonna wear a pumpkin. I'm gonna wear a pumpkin. Oh, I'm gonna wear a pumpkin. Silly.
Yeah, I love it.
So what are
And
you
then
gonna
what
wear?
I
What are you
would
gonna wear?
do, oh, what am I going to wear? No, I'm gonna make it easier. What are
Oh.
we going to drink? What are we going to drink?
What, oh, what, oh,
Drink,
what?
drink, drink, drink. What are we going to drink? And so by working on that word wear and drink,
Mhm.
we're targeting verbs, doing words, which are essential for communication development. And the fact that we're
Yes.
modeling, showing, it really shows the child how we can use a doing word, but then also learn to say it. And we're
Yes.
having fun. But you know, you had the pumpkin on your head. You can even
Yeah.
put the pumpkin in different places and work on
Yep.
location words,
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure, for sure.
on my
Yeah.
shoulder, on the window. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and, without even doing it right then, without even intentionally doing it, we're also working on body part identification, but also knowing where your body is in space, knowing what it takes. If I do, can you balance it on your head, balance it on your head, balance it on your head, oh, bounce it on your head. And then, putting it on our back or different places. That's, I think the thing is without even knowing. And I think that's what sometimes teachers don't realize. They don't realize all the learning that they're
Mm, mm,
doing.
mm.
They
Mm.
don't realize that they're teaching all of these other elements at the same time. There's, 10 different objectives going on, and they maybe were only aware of 3.
Mm, mm. Oh, this makes me so happy. We have just touched base on so many elements that firstly are crucial for communication development,
Mhm.
interaction, but also the possibilities that parents can do this without buying stuff. I feel like everyone feels like you
Yes.
need to go buy toys and
Oh,
buy things to help your child communicate. It's not. You are the best toy for your
mm,
child. Yes,
for
those
sure.
toys are purposeful and meaningful, but at the end of the day, the child really loves just the box that the toy comes in. So have
Yeah.
fun with what you have and take the pressure off you and your expectations to buy things to help your child to talk, because it's not that. It's you. It's you.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
as you can see, we just had a bit of fun there, rocking this Halloween vibe. Now,
Yes.
let's talk about how you can offer this to many clients. I know you offer childcare settings in the US, but
Yes.
in Australia, can they access your services virtually?
Yes. So I do virtual music classes every Tuesday, but even if you don't join live, you can get the replays. Why that's
Mm.
valuable is because you and your child can do a music class right in your own home.
Mhm.
So using things around the house, rhythm sticks, use, 2 paintbrushes, or, instead of a scarf, use a towel. But you're learning together. So every week, well, every month I do a theme, but then every week I'll repeat some activities. We'll have some new activities. We'll kind of mix it in. So by the end of those 4 weeks, you and your child have learned all of these different activities that are ones that they might continue to do over and over again and want to do for quite a long time. They're going to just be attracted to certain ones. But it's also such a great way to have that repetition and to create time for you and your child. I know that as a mom, when my girls were young, I sometimes I felt bad because I was working and I was home,
Mm.
and I didn't always feel like I carved out that time. But when I did, it was kind of like when you exercise and you're like, I did it. I feel so good. Well, the same thing was with them. So I found that if I carved out time and just said, I'm going to be fully present with you, and it might be this music class that you interact with them, and you're having that time and that shared experience, and no one else in the world matters but that time between you and your child. They will love it, and of course they'll grow their language and their physical skills as well.
It's about the quality, isn't it? It's the quality
Yes.
of the interaction rather than the quantity, which is I
Yeah.
tell my clients all the time. Now, before I wrap up, Jocelyn, for today, I ask my guests a question.
Okay.
For you to be a better version of yourself tomorrow, what word would you tell yourself today to live by?
Trust. Trust that I'm doing the right thing, trust that I'm on the right path, trust that there's more opportunities to come for me to share what I love, and trust that the world has a plan for me.
I love that. And trust in your ability to just be and sing with your child and have fun in the moment, which
Yes,
is
trust
gorgeous.
yourself. Yeah.
Jocelyn, this has been such an uplifting, engaging, positive conversation, and I adore it. And I'll be giving it to all my
Oh,
clients to understand
awesome.
the purpose of singing with your child and the endless benefits that come with it. So thank you for your time. And are you trick or treating tonight or tomorrow?
No, tomorrow, but no, I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna be flying on an airplane.
Oh, well, you'll be definitely on a
Maybe I'll dress up.
treat. Not you'll be treating yourself.
No tricks tomorrow.
So thank you for your time, Jocelyn, and thank you everyone for listening to this amazing episode. And I look forward to bringing you another episode of Wine with Wita really soon. Take care, guys. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Wine with Wita. I hope you found some new inspiration, learnt something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it takes 5 seconds. If you're keen for more strategies and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow RS Speech Pathology.